Blessed be my witches, my spiritualists, and welcome to another episode of Witch Please. It is I, Odin the Seer, and today I am going to be showing you how to do a reversal candle spell. Now, a lot of you have probably heard of ammonia jars and reversal spells and whatnot, and I love ammonia jars and I use them regularly, but what I found is that not a lot of people really like the smell of ammonia and they don't like working with them. So I found that reversal candles actually work really, really well while still bringing in the same results. A disclaimer here. I don't normally do lover come back type work for people. For the simple fact is, I don't really want to associate my energy with forcing someone to come back. Well, I'm doing this one because there are external forces that I feel aren't natural that were the reason for this person leaving. Okay? Long story short, tulpic energy, illusions, and people chattering. And that to me doesn't seem natural. Okay? There is a very strong love and a very strong bind, but there's a bond, but there's a binding that is happening here. And for me to be able to assist, I thought the best way for me to do that would be a reversal type working. Okay, so the interesting thing about this type of work is that you can, as I said, you can add in so many different variables. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be using a lot of symbology. Okay, so what do I have? I have a black bowl here. Dark matter energy, absorption. Getting rid of a lot of that negative energy and absorbing a lot of the blocks as you wash them away. And I'll show you the symbology in that in a moment. I have a beeswax hand-dipped candle. This is very important, y'all, okay? You don't want to use a melt and pour for this. You want to use a hand-dipped one. The simple reason for this is that a hand-dipped one, anybody who's ever dipped candles, you go through a process of dipping, letting it cool, dipping, letting it cool, dipping, letting it cool. And even if you're doing it in water where you're dipping it, then putting it in cold water and then dipping it, there's still that dipping, okay? You're going with the laws of gravity, pulling this down, pulling this down, pulling this down. And that's why the hand-dipped candles actually are thinner at the top and thicker at the base. Okay, so you really want that whole process of dipping. Now I've dipped these candles myself, so there's a lot more energy in here, a lot more focus that's placed on these candles. But one that you purchase in a shop that is hand dipped will be fine. I don't use paraffin when it comes to these types of workings. I will have a tendency to do more of a tallow. Tallow are hard to find with hand dipping. But they can be found. But beeswax normally is my go-to. Why do I want to use a beeswax? Because there's an industry in there. There is a working together. There is a movement, a buzzing. There's a vibration, right? It's very, very industrious, right? And it's also very much a community type of energy. So I'll be using this candle. I also have here my incense burner. Now, if you noticed, I don't know if you can see this, but this is a turtle. The reason why I use this one is because turtles have longevity. The person that I'm doing this on or for, there is a lot of chatter. And this chatter is not going to cease and desist completely, right? There can be workings to slow that down, but it's still going to be there for a little bit of time. And I want a longevity in this spell to be able to allow there to still be that vibration of solidity and comfort and strength in the decisions that are being made. You're also going to need your charcoal briquette. You are going to need your baptism water. Now I am using Saint Brigid's holy water here for my baptism. Saint Brigid is great when it comes to female energies and power and all these different variables, and I really want to be able to bring that vibration in here. Also, Saint Brigid or Grand Brigid or Mamban Brigid is very, very powerful when it comes to not messing around. okay? None of that crap, all that talk and all that, you know, hearsay and all that. She's not about that, right? She cuts through all of that. So I wanted to be able to bring that variable in as well. I didn't have any copper candle holders that are available at this time, so I'm using gold because it's close to the color of copper. Copper is a very, very powerful energy. I believe the first copper was mined in Greece, and it is associated strongly with the goddess Aphrodite. It is also associated with Ishtar. And my mind's going blank right now, but there is a lot of love energy that goes on when it comes to copper. So I wanted to bring that coloration in here. But I also have here a copper nail. And this is what I'm going to be using to scribe into the candle with. So I'm still bringing in that copper energy. Now, I also have my cauldron over here. And the reason why I have my cauldron over here is because I have this tray. And on this tray, I'm sure you can see this circle. Well, this is my igniting poof powder. And what this does, it actually will send out the energy and also protect the magic that I'm doing. But it's also extremely, extremely, extremely hot. And it can actually bend metal. So I don't want to be putting this on my wooden table because I'll have a burn mark around my wooden table, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to place this on top of the cauldron. And of course you need this tray here. I got my get yo ass back here oil. Okay, I'm going to be using this to anoint the candle. And I have this lighter here with length, because when I light this, I don't want to be anywhere close to it. Okay, so that is very important as well. Or even those long matches, those will be fine. My petition paper. I have my petition paper here, all taken care of with the names, birth dates, all of these variables that I need for this working. So this petition paper is here, and it's folded 3 times towards the client. Lover, come back. Oh, also you're going to need some holy incense. So what I have here is I have Basilica resin. I love using Basilica resin because it has a Copal in it. It also has I believe it has some myrrh in it as well, frankincense in it. It's actually burnt in a lot of churches. So I like to bring in that holy incense as well. All right, I think I've listed everything that you're going to need here. So let's start this. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to light our briquette here. But I'm going to pray over this briquette first. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to light our briquette here. Now I also want you to know that this is your standard Swift light. You can actually also use coconut Swift lights or charcoal briquettes. Those are really good too when it comes to anything to do with the mind. If there's something in the mind that's causing conflict in this type of working. So we're going to place this onto the salt that I have in here, or sand. Now we're going to take some of our Basilica resin, okay, and we are going to bless this for the purpose of reversal. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to take this Basilica resin and we're going to place this on our charcoal brick here. Now I want to make it clear here, the reason why that I'm using this, the charcoal brick, we know that incense is very powerful when it comes to magical workings, but I also want you to understand that incense goes up, it defies gravity. So this is a very powerful thing too, because you're defying gravity here. You're going against what would be considered the natural law, okay? So what we're going to do now is I've already blessed this, right, with the said purpose and intent when I was making this petition paper, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to place this petition paper in the middle of this circle that we have here, okay? And now we are going to take our bowl and our St. Bridget's water. We are going to take this candle and we are going to baptize it with the St. Bridget's water. Let me move this out of the way because the incense is going crazy here. We are going to, which is a good sign, the incense is coming towards me. The spirits are working with me. I'm getting the affirmation that they are agreeing with what I'm doing here, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to now baptize this candle with the St. Bridget's water. But what we want to understand is that we are going against the natural law. We're reversing something. So rather than holding the candle upright like this, what we are going to do is we are going to flip the candle upside down. We're going to baptize it this way. So we are pouring the water on the base here, okay? So let's baptize this candle. Okay, so now what we did is we have baptized this candle going against what we were dipping it. And when you're dipping it, you're going one way, so we're reversing it again. That power of reversal, we're doing that. And the black bowl is very powerful too, because all of those blocks and all that energy, right, we are actually pouring this down into the void, okay, into this dark matter, into this place where this energy can be dissipated and used for something else. So that is very, very powerful. The next thing we're going to do is we are now going to scribe on our candle. Now, what I normally do is, there's two ways to do this, right? You can do the candle in the upright position and write every letter reversed. For me, I like to use the candle upside down and I like to scribe down it in that manner. The reason why I'm doing this is because I am rewriting what is currently going on here. You're going to scribe whatever your intent is. This doesn't have to just be a lover come back. You can use this to reverse anything, right? So if it's poverty, write poverty, right? If it's fear, write fear, right? If it's gossip, write gossip, right? Whatever you need to write on it, you write on it. That anything that you want to have reversed. So considering I'm doing this as a lover come back, I'm going to be writing name and date of birth of the person that I am reversing their actions. Now, if you notice, I'm always working down. I'm always working against what is going on here, right? I'm going against the energies, right? I'm going against, I'm reversing everything. I'm trying to reverse everything in this workings, okay? Now, we are going to bless this candle. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take our Get Yo Ass Back Here oil, just pour a couple of drops in the palm of our hands. And we're going to rub our hands together here, activating the energies, warming up this oil in our hands, okay? Tap it together a few times, activating those energies, feeling the tingle in our hands. Then we're going to blow life into this. Okay? Now we're going to say our prayer. Okay, so my hands are tingling now. So we're going to take this candle and we are going to work down the candle, okay? Again, we are working downwards, okay? Down, down. Get it into the wick, down. Now, what I love about this is that when you are working with beeswax candles, you can feel it actually start to meld into the candle because the candle will become sticky, right? Which is very, very, very powerful because you know, you can smell it very clearly on the candle. So what you know in this instance, what you're doing is you are actually melding this into the candle's very essence. And we are going to now light this wick. Now I'm going to keep the candle always, never turn it upright. I'm not going to turn it upright. I'm always going to try and keep it in this manner, okay? Where it's at least at an angle, never upright, okay? And I'm going to light this. Perfect. Okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this wax burn into this candle holder here. Now you have to be very, very careful when you're doing this, because you don't want it to go out. So what we're doing is we are melting this wax now into this candle holder. And as you can see, I'm trying to turn this. And the reason why I'm turning this is because I want to get as much of a straight edge as I can on this. Okay, so now once you've got it to a point where you feel that you have enough wax in there and you've straightened, you flattened out where the wick is, I want you to now turn the candle over and I want you to push it upside down. Boom. Okay? So what you're doing there now is you have just stopped the way the energies were going in this reality. You've just reversed them. Boom. So that is very, very powerful. You're defying gravity. The whole thing about this is you are defying gravity. So now what you're going to do is you are going to take your lighter and you are going to start to melt down. And if you need to turn it clockwise, okay? And you're going to do this to start exposing the wick. Now a lot of people like to cut it. I will not cut them, okay? To expose the wick, because that might actually cut your magic. And you're going to keep on doing this, okay? Until the wick becomes clear and you can see it and the candle is burning on its own. I think we're almost about ready. Now, pay attention and notice what's going on with the candle. This is very important. When you're doing reversal work, remember you're going against what's going on at this point in time. You're reversing that. So you may have to continue to monitor this until you know you have a strong flame, adding your power, because again, you're working against something that is already in process and you're trying to reverse that. So sometimes that will take or mean that you're going to have to, see, this just went out. So what you're going to have to do now is you're going to have to continue again, push through it. Because we have to understand that this energy is trying to fight you, okay? You're going against something. So there's going to be a little bit of a fight there, or what they consider to be the natural law, or the way the progression is going. You're fighting against that. So you continue working on this until you and your magic is strong and it is working in the way you want it to do. Now, that is what you want it to be. You can see that this energy now, the candle flame is strong. You've got the ball rolling in regards to making manifest your desires. What you're going to do is you are now going to place this candle in the center here over your petition paper. That's why I love these candle holders, because they have a little place in the bottom where I can put the petition paper. And there's a little hole in it too, which is always great as well, because sometimes when it actually heats up, when you're just pouring the wax in, it won't actually drip through. There's no drips here. But when it starts to heat up, sometimes it will actually drip onto the petition paper and you can actually read the symbols, which is very powerful in and of itself. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take my cauldron and we're going to be very delicate. So now what we're going to do is we are going to bless this whole thing and then we're going to send it up and we're going to protect this magic. Alright, so sorry about that, guys. The energy in the room actually just took out my camera. Par for the course around here. Now what you want to do is you want to keep this burning until it completes the circle. okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to start, I've got 2 lighters here, right? And we are going to keep this circle of fire burning. The candle went out. Okay? So what we're going to do in this instance is we are going to light it again. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, your candle went out. This is, showing that your magic is this, your magic is that. No. What I want you to understand here is that when you do this fiery wall of protection around it, right, it's protecting everything. It's stopping everything from happening. Right? So if the candle goes out and you relight it, remember, my witches, if your candles go out, relight them. Okay? If there's a certain purpose or an intent, relight them. Right? We just took away all the air from a certain situation. Right? We took away all the air that was going on in this working. And that stopped this from actually being lit. Relighting it at this point in time is just adding more power to the workings. Now, I will say that this happens most of the time when I am doing this type of reversal. And I take it as a good sign, because what I did is I just choked out I take this as a good sign, because what it does, it tells me that it choked out anything that used to be or whatnot. It cleared anything that was in the path and whatnot. And now I am literally starting fresh. I have now reversed the situation, and it is going to make manifest my end goals and desires. So now I can take this off, and as this burns, I will be able to now read the waxes. Again, this type of working, my witches, my spiritualists, you need to understand you're going against something. When you're working with an ammonia jar, you have to understand, see all this smoke here? When you're working with an ammonia jar is constantly working towards your goal. And for me, I have noticed that ammonia jars will leak and so on and so forth quite a bit. And you still have to do the same thing. You're reversing something. You have to work through something. That's very powerful. Expect the same with the reversal candle magic. It's going to take some time, it's going to take some energy, and you're going to have to put an effort into it. You're reversing something that is for what you want to be. All right, my witches, my spiritualists, that is our episode for today. If you have not subscribed, you know you need to press subscribe, join the Witch Please family, and do not miss out on a thing. You can follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, as well as Facebook. You can always send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below. Don't forget to press that bell icon so you're notified when a new video comes out, because you know you don't want to miss a thing. I said it before, my witches, my spiritualists, and I will say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. And you are always in my heart. I will see you again on another episode of Witch Please. I love you, Boo Boos. Bye-bye.